Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, The Retail Guru. We are here to talk about two peas in a pod today. One of the pea was successful, one went rotten, and actually it's about Timberland and Woodland. A very interesting journey, but for you to get a little more context of why Woodland succeeded and Timberland failed in India, I want to take you back to the 1950s, which is essentially when Timberland was established. Of course, Timberland was not called Timberland till the 70s, but it's very important to give you a certain context of Timberland, what made Timberland, and what happened since. So, Timberland was essentially an outdoor brand, and what made Timberland popular was this iconic yellow boot. This boot is what is the equivalent of a Rolex Submariner or a Rolex GMT, which are tool watches, which are rugged, used in the outdoors, and that's exactly what Timberland in the boot space signifies. This was revolutionary in its times when it was launched in the 70s. This injection molded sole technology, which basically fused leather into the sole, making it one seamless structure, making it waterproof. No one at that time had thought that leather combined with this sole could be used in the rugged outdoors and still be waterproof. And that is where Timberland built its brand history from. This has united America, the blacks patronizing Timberland. It is an icon of Made in America. Timberland now has become a household name, especially because it's been patronized by celebrities from Rihanna to Jay-Z across the world. So talking a little bit about Woodland. Woodland was actually a byproduct of the Aero Group. Aero Group was established by the Singh family in about the 70s. Canadian-based group, Aero Group, that actually was in the business of shoemaking, and they used to supply shoes to the USSR, which is today's Russia, the Soviet Union. And their business flourished essentially till the 90s, and that is when the Soviet Union collapsed. And they started figuring out what are they going to do with their shoe business. And this is when they, being historically Indian, looked at the Indian market and decided to launch a brand. Now if you look at many songs, producers and writers, they talk about inspiration. And there is a very fine line between inspiration and copying. I'll let you be the judge of that. In a short while from now, I'm going to post a series of grabs of advertising of Timberland, advertising of Woodland, the logos of the two brands, and the positioning, and the lifestyle segment that they cater to. And you be the judge whether it was inspiration or copying. Woodland was essentially launched in India in 1992. Today, Woodland is a 1,250 crore company which has over 500 exclusive brand outlets and over 2,500 present in multi-brand outlets. So they are deeply entrenched into the hearts and minds of the Indian consumer. Timberland didn't enter India till the 2010s. This is when Reliance Brands, Darshan Mehta signed up a deal with VF Corp to bring Timberland into India. And of course, if you look at one of his interviews when he was quizzed, does Timberland have any competition in India? To which his answer was no. This is a space that will be filled by Timberland, because Timberland is not a sporting goods company, and the sporting goods company brands like Adidas, Nike, Puma, Reebok already fill a niche in India, and the outdoor category is completely uncovered. And of course, when you're running a multi-billion dollar organization, you can get cocky about your decisions. When Woodland, which is a brand that has been in India since the 90s, having a very, very similar positioning to Timberland in terms of its ideology, in terms of its brand spirit, in terms of its essence, in terms of the store designs, in terms of the look and feel. To me, if you were to ask me honestly, the case is currently in courts And I don't think, unfortunately, Timberland will win the case against Woodland, because Woodland has been in India since 1992 and has now developed a unique identity of its own. But that is going to be a challenge, because when Western brands come into markets like India and China, they're going to look at plagiarism, they're going to look at what type of laws are there that protect our intellectual property. And while the courts may not rule in the favor of Timberland on this account, I personally feel that Woodland is a cut and paste of Timberland. I mean, Indians and Chinese, I think, are very good in Excel, and one of the most used functions in Excel is cut and paste. And I think this is a clear case of cut and paste. And sadly but true, that is one of the reasons why Woodland succeeded and Timberland failed. The Indian consumer, who was not really very well aware of brands till the market actually opened up, sadly would not know what a Timberland is. Most of them would not. Whereas because Woodland has been entrenched in the market since over 3 decades, Indians would be able to identify with Woodland. And being the price conscious consumer that Indians are, they would always wonder, why am I going to buy a shoe that is 3 times lesser in terms of price, but probably same in terms of quality, to Timberland. So I don't know if and when Timberland decide to enter the Indian market, but doesn't mean if you fail once you'll fail again. Maybe Timberland needs to relook at its strategy of what they need to do, the type of capsules they need to create for the Indian consumer, and maybe even a different type of positioning. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.